Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. It's another beautiful day of life, another day to be grateful for everything we have. I'm outside. I'm going to do the astrology forecast for the month of June. This is just going to be focusing on planetary movements and what they mean. This is intuitive. I'm not an astrologer, okay? I do know certain things, but I don't know deep enough to really say, hey, I'm an astrologer. But I'm using my intuition and using my guidance and what the planets mean and what each and every zodiac stands for, okay? So let's begin. June 1st, we have Mercury enters Cancer and will be there until the end of June, okay? And will be exalted in Cancer. And that's all about focusing on our, emotions, our feelings, communicating them, looking deep into our hearts, communicating what we're feeling inside, and definitely being open, right? And it will leave Cancer on June 30th, but we'll discuss that later on. Okay, so again, it's about deep diving emotions, feelings, heart, and very much communicating exactly how we feel. Then, of course, this week, 7th, 8th, and 9th, we had that Jupiter-Venus conjunction. This week, you can see it up in the sky, and that's all about expansion in our emotions. Understanding ourselves, understanding our emotions, understanding our hearts, being more open, more communicative, being more open to love, being putting yourself out there basically, and definitely trying to understand what it is that you want in your relationships, commitments on, and how you feel like you can make it stronger or build it stronger, or how you feel that it's not working for you and it's time to move on also. Okay, it's time to reflect and say, hey, is this good for my heart? Is what's happening right now the best place that I can be at, or can I work on certain things emotionally, right? And focus on the heart, the emotions, the feelings, which is great. Okay, that's gonna go straight down this Mercury in Cancer until June 30th. Okay, just letting you know. Then we have on June 11th, the Sun squares Saturn in Pisces. Okay, June 11th, the Sun squares Saturn in Pisces. It's all about us being honest to ourselves. Where are we putting the rose-colored glasses? What are things that we need to focus on? What are things that we need to really balance out? What are situations that we need to start, putting in the energy, putting in the work, and bringing in stability, okay? Let me see if there's something else I have to tell you here. Okay, no, not right now. So in June 15, we got a new moon in Gemini. And then on June 14th, we have a new moon in Gemini. Okay, that's all about doing things differently, about communicating differently. It's all about AI. It's all about informatics. It's all about travel and looking how we can do things differently when it comes to that, or seeing different things being done with AI, informatics, communications, and travels, okay? Then on June 15th, we have Mercury conjuncts Jupiter in Cancer, again, focusing on communicating from the heart, communicating what we feel emotionally, expanding in our communications and putting in more of our emotions, our heart, our feelings, and definitely being more open with our heart, okay? Then we have on June 16th, Venus in Leo trines Neptune. Okay, so Venus in Leo is wearing rose-colored glasses, okay, and not seeing things as clear as we should, because Neptune is all about illusion. So be careful with that, about not seeing a person or situation clearly, okay, because then the next day, on the 17th, it opposes Pluto. So that's going to be like a time to take off those rose-colored glasses. The day before you saw someone as wonderful, great, awesome, because you were wearing rose colored glasses, and the next day you get the honest truth that maybe you didn't make the right decision, or maybe that you weren't seeing things as clear as you should have, or you weren't being honest with yourself, okay? And then on the same day, the Sun sextiles Chiron and Cancer, healing our hearts, healing our emotions, healing past hurts, and trying to balance ourselves out emotionally, which is great. Okay, Chiron is the healer. What is it? What is that we need to heal? What things that we need to learn when it comes to emotions, when it comes to relationships, commitments, our friendships, our family, the way we communicate emotionally, the way we, show emotions and things like that, okay? Now going back, June 21st, the Sun enters Cancer, so it'll be Cancer season. And then on before that, June 19th, Mars trines Uranus. Mars trining Uranus is just doing things out of the box, doing things differently, approaching things differently. And if you have like a project, maybe putting a different spin to it, okay? Then on June 28th, Mars enters Gemini, being eccentric, being unique, being, different, and doing things differently. And sometimes we can think we're doing, want to do things one way and then make a sudden change and doing it differently than, minute to minute changing and trying to figure yourself out, okay? Then June 29th, Mercury stations retrograde. Uh-oh, this is where everything starts to heat up. June 28th through June 29th, things start to heat up, okay? We got two squares. The moon in Capricorn is squaring both Neptune and Saturn in Aries and Pisces, and is definitely being realistic about stabilizing situations, definitely being realistic and not wearing rose-colored glasses, definitely being realistic to yourself. Am I doing things appropriately? Is there things that I need to change? What is it that I need to change? In which area in my life have I been ignoring, avoiding, or blocking? And it's being honest and truthful with ourselves so that we can bring stability there, okay? So we have the full moon in Capricorn again, and that's about stability. It's about honesty. It's about balancing things out. And then we have these squares. And it's like, are we jumping the gun? Have we jumped the gun somewhere? Have we made poor choices? Have we on this rose-colored glasses and not seeing the truth and not focus on what the honest truth is and dealt with it in a stable way, okay? And then on June 30th, Jupiter enters Leo, okay? That's all about being self-assured, being resilient, being confident, okay? And putting in that confidence into the things you do, especially with Mars and move with Jupiter entering into Leo. It's almost like expanding that part of you and having more confidence with yourself and situations and being more confident as you move forward, even if it means that you have to work on yourself to place yourself out there more confidently, right? And taking risks, sometimes risks that may take you into better places, right? All right, so that is the month of June in a nutshell, okay? But let me go back to June 25th a little bit. Let's see here, because I wrote down some things in the back here I want to go over. June 25th, the sun squares Neptune and Jupiter. Again, June 25th, the sun squares Neptune and Jupiter, and it's us being, being realistic, not overdoing things, not, honestly being truthful with ourselves. And it's going to affect Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Again, the end of the month gets a little bit more spicy. I think it gets spicier even more towards like 28th, 29th, and 30th and going into July. But June 28th, there is some spiciness there, and it's telling us to be honest with ourselves. Again, taking off the rose-colored glasses and seeing things for what they really are instead of being in la la land or not seeing or not, not being truthful or honest with ourselves, right? Okay, then Mars will leave Taurus on June 28th. And then, of course, what I told you happens on June 29th, okay, which is going to be a little bit difficult. And, mainly, the signs that are mainly going to feel it is Aries, Pisces, Capricorn, Aquarius. So these are the signs that are mostly going to feel it. But everyone is, when you have such a big thing with the moon, everyone is truthfully going to feel it, right? It depends on where these signs are in your chart, or where these planets are located in your chart, okay? So again, end of the month seems a little difficult, but we'll get through. We just gonna need to have confidence in ourselves, because June 30th, Jupiter enters Leo, and we need to be sure of the decisions we make, and we need to be sure of how we're moving forward and be honest with ourselves and truthful. And don't wear rose-colored glasses towards the end of the month, facing the reality if you haven't faced it, okay? And if you're high vibrational, you don't need to worry about this, because you know that facing the reality has to happen at all times, and you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to be fair, and you got to be balanced, okay? So that's it in a nutshell. So it starts to get a little harder towards the end of the month, starting from June 25th, but June 28th and 29th gets even spicier. Love and light. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.